Hello viewers! Today I'm talking about equipment you need for brewing rice wine. Any kind of rustic Asian rice wine, home brewing in your kitchen, whether it's makgeolli, Korean rice wine, Chinese rice wine, or doburoku, rustic Japanese sake. I'm going to cover the essential equipment you need for brewing rice wine in your kitchen. And one of the things I really like about this hobby, brewing rice wine, is that you don't need a lot of equipment. When I first brewed makgeolli, the very first time I brewed makgeolli, I had almost everything I needed in the kitchen already. I just needed to buy 2 items of equipment. And I'll talk about that more later in this video. I made a video on the subject of equipment 4 years ago. I think it's time for an update now. I'm going to tell you where you can buy these items of equipment. This video is going to be all about equipment, and the next episode is going to be about ingredients. If you like this video, please click that like button and subscribe, and please share this video wherever it is appropriate. Let's get back to the first time I brewed makgeolli. I needed to buy 2 things, cheesecloth and a fermentation jar. And every other piece of equipment, I already had something I could use in the kitchen already. I used the cheesecloth when steaming the rice and also for filtering. And luckily I bought the right kind of cheesecloth. This is the kind I bought. This is a sturdy cheesecloth. It's reusable. It's strong enough to be used for filtering and fine enough to be used for filtering. For steaming, I reuse it a dozen times, and for filtering, you can reuse it a few times as well. I have a link to buy this cheesecloth in the description. It's an Amazon affiliate link, and that means that I earn from qualified purchases on that link. I've bought this brand several times, and I still use it now for steaming the rice. Now, for filtering, I've moved on to other products, and I'll get to that later on in this video. The second item of equipment I needed to buy that very first time was a fermentation jar. This is a very standard fermentation jar, glass jar, plastic lid, and a handle. I found this jar in the houseware section of an H Mart. That's where I would look for it. Find a large Asian supermarket and look for the houseware section either in the store or just outside of the supermarket. There could be a separate houseware store, and that's where I would look for this kind of jar. They usually have this kind of jar in many sizes. I would look for a jar around 3 to 5 liters. That's good size to start with. That's around 1 gallon. And like I said, this is the standard kind of jar with this purple lid. But for some reason, I have not been able to find this online. So I was only able to buy my jars in person. If you do want to order a glass jar online, you can find these 1 gallon glass jars with a white plastic lid. They don't have a handle, so they're not as good. You do want to be sure the jar has a wide opening. You need that for brewing rice wine. You want a jar 3 to 5 liters, around 1 gallon. If you can't find this kind of jar, I have seen 1 gallon glass jars with a white lid online. You could use those. What is important is that it has a wide opening. You want a jar with a wide opening. Of course, the best thing to do is use what you have. You might have a lot of these items of equipment in your kitchen already. But if you're missing a few things, I'll try to go through every step of the brewing process and to try to cover everything today that's essential for brewing rice wine. One of the things I find very useful is a kitchen scale. So you've seen this scale in all of my videos. I've had it the whole time. It's sort of breaking. I have to take the batteries out when I'm not using it because it goes through batteries. It'll drain the battery otherwise. So this is not the best scale, but I've used it for 5 years. So I got a new scale. You'll be seeing this in all my new videos, and this scale is working great. It's more efficient with batteries, and so I like it a lot. And again, there's a link in the description, and I find it very convenient to use the scale to measure all my ingredients. It's a lot more accurate and convenient than measuring by volume. So I like using a scale for all my ingredients. Next part of the brewing process, we're going to need a large bowl to wash your rice. And you probably already have a bowl in your kitchen. But if you don't, it's easy to find a suitable stainless steel bowl that you can use for washing your rice. Next thing you do is you drain your rice. So you'll need a colander to drain your rice well. And funny story here, I did buy this colander on Amazon. I needed a bigger colander, so I bought this one. And one problem, though, I bought this colander and the rice just flows through it like water because these holes are too big. And so that's one of those lessons about ordering things online. Colander is something you might want to buy in person so you can tell that the holes are suitable size for draining rice. This colander just lets the rice through. What I ended up doing is buying this at a restaurant supply store, an Asian restaurant supply store. This is made from aluminum and is specifically for washing rice. This will wash 5 kilograms of rice with no problem. So this is suitable, and I bought this in person. And actually, I'll talk about where I got this later in the video. Next step in the process is to steam the rice. So you're going to need a steamer. And this is the simplest kind of steamer, bamboo steamer. Standard item. This is a 12-inch diameter steamer with 2 layers. And this is perfectly usable. It goes on top of a pot or a wok with water in it, and you can steam your rice with this kind of steamer. This isn't the original steamer I used in my first video. That eventually did wear out, but I'd steamed in it at least 100 times. So these do last quite a long time. But so this is a replacement for that original one. And I still use it sometimes when I need to steam a relatively small amount of rice. If I need to steam more rice, I use this stainless steel steamer. And I like this steamer a lot. I made a whole video just about this steamer, explaining where I bought it. And at the same place I bought the steamer, I also bought that big colander for washing the rice. So if you're interested in how I got the steamer, watch that other video. I talked about the cheesecloth already. That's what I use to hold the rice within the steamer. I think traditionally, instead of cheesecloth, a hemp cloth is used. Now, I don't have a hemp cloth, but another brewer recommended this kind of hemp cloth. So I'll put a link in the description for that cloth. After you steam the rice, a nice thing to have is an infrared thermometer. It's useful for telling when the rice has cooled down enough so you can go on to the next stage, and also for monitor the temperature of your brew. Anything you can point at, you can take the temperature. So I find this useful, even though it's this kind of gadget, of course, is not rustic. It's not rustic. The rustic substitute would be to use your hand. But like I said, I do find it to be a useful gadget in the kitchen. I like it, and so I put a link in the description. Now, one unfortunate thing is that it looks like this has surged in price this year. It seems to be twice the price it was last year when I bought this. When fermentation is complete, you need to filter your brew, and you could use the cheesecloth that I mentioned in the beginning, but I've moved on from that. The first thing I moved to was a jelly strainer like this. So this is a jelly strainer with a stand and a filter bag that mounts on top of the stand. And I found this, you've seen this in many videos of mine, and it works great. The filter bag is a lot easier to clean than cheesecloth would be. The only issue with these is that I found the filter bag was a little small. It was, and I was brewing more and more. So what I ended up doing was moving on from this to just larger nylon filter bags. I found all kinds of suitable filter bags on Amazon. I found 200 micron filter bags. I found 80 micron filter bags. I like these a lot. The 200 micron filter bags and the 80 micron filter bags are both excellent. I like these 80 micron filter bags because they have a rounded edge here, and they're especially easy to clean, and they're great. They can hold. I can put a whole fermentation jar. I could pour it into one of these bags, and I've had good experience with these. So I put a link in the description where you can find these filter bags. Something that's essential when you're bottling is a funnel. And this is the funnel I've been using this whole time. Since I started brewing, we happen to have this funnel in the kitchen, and it's exactly the right thing that we needed. This will fit inside a bottle, and inside it has a separate strainer. It's inside. This is ideal to use. So I found it on Amazon. I put a link in the description. So you want a good funnel. So I use the funnel to put my makgeolli into plastic bottles, and these are the bottles that I use. These are seltzer water bottles. So I take these labels off. I reuse them. I use them for makgeolli once, and then I recycle them. So I don't need to buy plastic bottles because I just reuse these ones. These seltzer water bottles are good because they're already designed to hold something that's carbonated. And however, I wouldn't recommend this for long-term storage. For long-term storage, I would use glass. And I found these glass bottles to be very useful. These have a screw-on cap that seals well, and it's with a brush. It's possible to wash these. So I've been using and reusing these glass bottles, and there's a link in the description. I store my Chongju in these bottles in the fridge. I hope that covers the most essential equipment you need for brewing rice wine. Please let me know in the comments if I missed anything. And stay tuned for the next episode where I cover ingredients. Thank you for watching.